the Republican squirm is in full swing. At times, it can seem as if President Donald Trump's goal in life is to make his fellow Republicans squirm. Through a multitude of controversies over the years, Trump has effectively challenged his allies to account for the latest norm-busting, legally dubious and often not terribly conservative proposal he has floated. And few periods have been as squirmy as the last few days. Trump and his top aides have floated suspending habeas corpus, pushed to accept a $400 million airplane from Qatar and sought to unilaterally lower prescription drug prices. All of these are legally dubious, and the first two are especially extraordinary. Habeas corpus, the foundational constitutional right to challenge one's detention in court, has been suspended only 4 times in American history, including during the Civil War. The Constitution requires a rebellion or invasion for its suspension. The plane gift from Qatar poses both major security challenges and huge ethical and constitutional concerns. That's because presidents are barred under the Emoluments Clause from accepting gifts from foreign leaders without congressional consent. The plane would be used as Air Force One but then transferred to Trump's Presidential Library Foundation. He has claimed he wouldn't use it personally. A handful of Republicans have spoken out against these proposals, especially the airplane from Qatar. But mostly their responses have been to avoid any personal judgments of the legality, advisability, or morality of these moves. And often they strain really hard. Perhaps the most striking example was Representative Richard McCormick's appearance on CNN on Monday night. Anchor Caitlin Collins peppered him with repeated questions about what he personally thought about accepting a plane from Qatar. He repeatedly volleyed back by talking about its legality and how others would render judgment. "I'm sure that we'll run it through the legal course, to make sure that it's not going to be something nefarious," McCormick, Republican Georgia, said. When pressed again for his personal view, "I can tell you that if it's unethical, that will be up to the people to decide, or the president to decide. And again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm a doctor. I'm in Congress. We're not going to vote on this. Whether it's acceptable or not, that's going to remain to be seen." After Collins noted that the Constitution explicitly says Congress must approve foreign gifts, McCormick allowed that Congress could vote on it. McCormick, "I don't think Congress by the Constitution is in charge of a budget, not in which gifts the president can accept." Collins, "If you read the Emoluments Clause, it says no person holding any office shall, without the consent of Congress, accept of any present of any kind, pic.twitter.com/0hbcvhfview. Assen, at Assen, May 13, 2025. Representative Ryan Zinke's appearance Tuesday on CNN went similarly. Zinke, Republican Montana, repeatedly responded to questions about his personal views by asking questions himself, without offering firm answers. "I understand it went through Attorney General Pam Bondi, so it's legal, it's ethical," Zinke said, before adding, "Does it give the right message? Is it a good look?" Zinke added, "Is it a good look to have a Qatari aircraft that now is the president's? And, but I understand, our aircraft, is it a better aircraft? It must be. Now, to your point, does it provide a leverage for the Qataris?" Zinke did answer this question with a not totally firm "I don't think so." "Is it a good look?" Zinke added, "Is it a good look to have a Qatari aircraft that now is the president's? And, but I understand, our aircraft, is it a better aircraft? It must be. Now, to your point, does it provide a leverage for the Qataris?" Zinke did answer this question with a not totally firm "I don't think so." When pressed for his personal view, Thune demurred, "There are lots of issues around that I think will attract very serious questions, if and when it happens." Thune's answer was similar when the news conference turned to Trump's prescription drug executive order. He was again asked for his personal view, and he again fell back on talking about legal issues. "My guess is that it'll be the subject of probably multiple lawsuits, and I think the courts will probably have something to say about it," Thune said, adding, "Again, we'll see how it plays out." And perhaps none of these issues have produced squirming like top White House advisor Stephen Miller's recent suggestion that Trump might suspend habeas corpus if courts continue to rule against the president's expedited deportations. Asked repeatedly on NBC's Meet the Press whether he would vote to suspend habeas corpus, Senator John Barrasso, Republican Wyoming, repeatedly avoided the question, instead saying Trump would follow the law. When asked a third time, Barrasso responded, "I don't believe this is going to come to Congress." Former House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Michael McCaul, Republican Texas, engaged in much the same dance on CBS's Face the Nation. Asked repeatedly for his view, he repeatedly cited the coming legal fights / "It's a very extreme measure, to take," McCaul said. He added, "So, I think the courts are going to decide this one as to whether this invasion, in fact, constitutes what would be a state of war. Some would say it would. I think that will be a very interesting legal argument before the court." Indeed, it seems congressional Republicans, based on their public comments at least, regard much of what Trump is doing as an interesting legal effort, and little more. It's not exactly news that the Republican-controlled Congress has largely subjugated itself to Trump. It has allowed him to pursue an agenda almost completely focused on executive actions without seeking legislative input, even in areas that are supposed to be under its purview. That's most notably the case on his tariffs, which are a power the Constitution expressly gives to Congress. Congress enacted a historically low 5 laws in Trump's first 100 days. But as remarkable is how little they venture opinions publicly. They seem content to suggest that maybe what Trump is doing is problematic, while hoping it will go away. Perhaps that's a strategy that works as well as any strategy could. Trump has at least scaled back on his tariffs, even without a GOP revolt. But the downside is it reinforces just how irrelevant Congress is becoming. And the last few months suggest Trump is just going to keep making them squirm.